Okay, so bring yourselves to your mat. We'll start with sitting. So come into Sukhasana or easy cross-legged pose. And then whichever one you settled in, switch it up and take it to the other cross. So let's bring a little level of discomfort, challenge, whatever it is, to our and think about your sit bones and allow them to relax. So allowing your sit bones to relax, also we want to focus on the pressure that we can feel and make sure that left and right, so we're not leaning over to one side or the other. So have a lean, go from side to side very gently, noticing what's going on in your lower back, in your hips, and then come like a pendulum, slowly coming back to center and settling in the middle. And then take your attention all the way up your spine, bit by bit, vertebra by vertebra, lengthening, giving each vertebra a little bit more space, a little bit more room to breathe, a little bit more room for articulation of fluid. So coming all the way up to your mid-back, and then into your upper back, into your neck, to the back of your head, and then taking your attention to the crown of your head. Imagine that somebody is just helping you by lifting you up just through this nice magnetic energy. Nobody's pulling your hair or anything like that. It's just a lift and you're lengthening. And you should hopefully feel that in your pelvis, in your lower back, all the way up your back. And now think about your shoulders. Are they edging up towards the ceiling as well? Relax them. So relaxed hands, arms, shoulders. And then we want a little bit of length in the front of the body as well. So you've got your pelvis there, your nice steady base. And then we want to lengthen the front of the body. So think about your sternum and then have a little bit of a lift. So you get some length in the front of the body as well. And you'll be amazed at how much you can grow in height when you lift the front, lift the back, and then of course the sides. So give your attention to the sides now, lifting your armpits away from your hips. And all the while breathing slow, steady, deep breaths in through your nostrils and out through your mouth. And relax your shoulders, relax your jaw. So close your eyes, and as you breathe in and out, slowly, thoughtfully, gently, filling up with each breath and exhaling fully with each out breath. Take your attention around your body, like a little checking in. Where are you feeling you need a little bit more love and attention? Where are things going brilliantly? Just noticing. And again, trying to keep that neutral voice of observation. Just removing the emotion out of it. You're just noticing. Just paying attention to the body before we start our practice. And at the same time, focusing on the breath throughout. Imagine each in-breath is a chance to refresh and renew and clean and detoxify every cell in the body. And every out-breath is an opportunity to let go, to release, to send things that we no longer need out of our bodies, our minds, our spirits. Phenomenal power in the breath. And we do it all day long quite often without giving a second's attention to the breath. So every morning, if you can, just a short space of time, giving your attention to the breath. So we'll do some gentle warm-up stretching here. Take your chin to your chest. Exhale fully. Inhale, raise your chin all the way up, taking the back of your head to the top of your back. Your chin jutting up towards the ceiling. So as if you're trying to get your bottom row of teeth up towards the ceiling. Stretch in your throat and neck. And notice your chest here. Have you rounded a little? Can you lift your sternum as well? Going all the way from your pelvis to your chin. And when it feels too strong, releasing. And then staying here with the back of the head, top of your back, and sending your jaw back up and out again. With this stretch, if I ever forget to say, when it gets too strong, just release and then come back in. And then gently coming back to neutral. So bringing your chin back, bringing your gaze back. I'm going to take the chin over to the right shoulder. So everything else stays exactly where it was. Try not to move anything other than your head. And you're just looking around, slow sweeping gaze. And then when you get to your chin being above your right shoulder, look back behind you. Widen your eyes, lift your eyebrows, and stare behind you. That all becomes a little strong. Keep staring. And then release the eyes, release the head, come back to center, nice and slow. And then all the way over to the other side. So just drew a lovely semicircle. So get to the point where you're at your maximum turn and then bring your eyes into it. Again, widening the eyes, lifting the spine, crown of the head up towards the ceiling still. Relax your thighs, relax your legs and your arms. No need to be gripping hold of your knees. Staring around behind you and then release the gaze and release the neck. Coming back to center again. Well done. Let's take the hands to the side. So popping your hands on the mat beside you. Just give it a bit of a tap. Let's wake the hands up. And then turn your palms to face upwards. We're going to do a big inhale. And then exhale. Pushing the air down, lifting the air up on that inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. In through the nostrils and out through the mouth, all the nostrils, up to you. What works? This time we're going to take the hands to the front. Inhale up. And then exhale, fold and bring your body down with your arms. So we're reaching forward, folding forward, bending at the hips. Inhaling to come up. Nice and tall, reaching up, touch the ceiling. Exhale, fold. Inhale one more time. Using your core here, using your back, using the sides of your body. And then exhaling fully to come forward, reaching forward. Walking your fingertips forward, stretching out under the arms, across your shoulders, into the mid-back, and then gently coming all the way back up to sitting. So we're going to be using our cushion now, or bolster, or whatever it is you have. So put it just at your mat so that there's enough room for your head and your tops of your shoulders to be off onto the top bit of your mat, not off the mat. What would be the point of that? And then turn around and sit just in front of your mat. So you've got about a hand's width. We're just trying to get the cushion around the back of the chest, under the sternum. Oh, I seem to have lost my words. I should just said, lie back on your cushion, everyone, so that your sternum is up towards the ceiling. All right, I've got my legs crossed. You can bring your legs into Baddha Konasana, which is the soles of your feet touching together. And knees out to the side, like butterfly. Or you can have your legs out straight. Find what is more comfortable for you for today. And then take your arms out to the sides. So we've got a very yin, very gentle opening of the chest here. And what we need to do to help that actually work best is to let go, is to release. If you find that you're not comfortable, just check where that cushion is for you. Your head should be on the floor, not on the cushion. The tops of your arms are just around the same level as the top of the cushion. We're looking for a lovely gentle arc in the spine, hips on the floor, lower back will have a little curve, and breathe. So with every out breath now, try to just soften and let go, as if you're just made of jelly, and you're going to mold yourself very gently around that cushion, letting go of any tension in your shoulders, in your neck, in your jaw. And do you know where you hold your tension? Usually we've got at least one or two, or maybe even 3 places in the body where we like to clench all the muscles when we're feeling strong emotions. And then it becomes unconscious. It becomes part of our daily routine, and we don't even need to be feeling any emotions, and those muscles will just go into, oops, this is what we do. So we're trying to identify those and encourage them to let go. And through your day as well, if you notice that you're, I don't know, grinding your teeth or holding tension in your jaw or your glutes or your shoulders, just give yourself a gentle shake or just rub gently on those muscles and let them let go. Breathing in, lifting your sternum, letting the ribs spread, stretch, and as you breathe out, letting everything soften and let go. So, opening of the chest. If you're in Baddha Konasana legs with the soles of your feet together and your knees out to the side, you've got a bit of a hip opening going on there as well. And we're going to carry this on now. We've just done this lovely gentle stretch. We're going to make it a bit more dynamic. So take your knees pointing up to the ceiling, the soles of your feet flat to the floor by your hips. Push down. Let's just pull that cushion out. We'll safely somehow remove the cushion so you don't have that there anymore. And let's just press that upper back into the mat, lifting your hips off just a little, so curling your lower back, your mid back and your upper back onto the floor, pressing them down firmly onto the floor, and then we're carrying on from there. So we're coming into bridge. Lift your hips slowly, like they're going up in a lift, nice and slow. And then notice where your feet are. Do they need to move? Do you want to move them in a little? Are they exactly where they should be, where you want them to be? Just noticing. Hands are pointing down towards your feet, or maybe even touching your ankles. And then lift a little higher. So squeeze your glutes now. Squeeze your glutes and press the floor away, as if you're pushing the floor with your feet. Push the floor away, raise your hips a little. And we want some engagement on the inner thighs. So as if you are squeezing a ball between your knees. Nice big beach ball. Keeping that ball there, squeezing your knees towards each other. Just engaging those muscles at the same time. Nice big squeeze in the glutes. And you might want to roll your shoulders under to give yourself a little bit more lift. Or you might be happy exactly where you were. Pressing the tops of your arms and your forearms and your hands firmly into the mat as well. Lengthening through the back of your neck, relaxing your neck and your jaw. They don't have to do anything here, they're just there. And we're going to be counter posing. So we're going to come slowly out of this asana, Setu Bandhasana. And we're taking the vertebrae down one by one, nice and slow. Rolling down, seeing if you can get each vertebrae down individually. Can you imagine we had that much lovely control over our spines? And then bringing your knees into your chest, or maybe you do. Take your arms around and a very slow motion rock from side to side. Very, very slow. Over to the one side, back across the middle, and over to the other side. So two visits to each side. Let's make this the last, over to the right or the left, whichever side you started on. The other side, and then back to center. Well done. We're going to come into wind releasing posture. So hold on to your left thigh, either just behind your thigh or across the calf, or shin rather. And then let's take the right leg up towards the ceiling. So right leg comes up towards the ceiling. Toes pulled back just a little bit towards your face. So you feel that stretch now in the back of your leg. You want to feel the stretch all the way from your Achilles, maybe actually even from the sole of your foot, round and down. And then a nice big firm hold, pulling that thigh into your chest. So part of the benefit of this asana, it's very good for digestion, is the pressure that you're putting onto your internal organs through bringing the thigh gently into your chest, into your belly. And we're going to float that right leg down towards the floor. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw. And the timing here is like the second hand of a clock. So I've probably been going a little bit too slow. So it should take about 15 seconds to get down to the floor. Or maybe we're just a very slow clock today. Oops, nearly said that wrong. All the way down, but not touching. So we're going to float. You'll just have to imagine where you are with that foot. And then we gently come back up again. So feeling that pressure as the pelvis is pushed down into the ground. Trying to relax your arms and relax your shoulders, but still keeping that nice contact between your left thigh and your torso. So coming all the way up, remembering to breathe nice, steady, deep, easy breaths. Coming all the way back, feeling that lovely pressure in your lower back as it's pressed into the floor, and then swapping around. So bring the right leg in and the left leg comes up. Just hold here for a moment and notice any sensations in your leg. Maybe there's a sensation of coolness. We've closed off the lymphatic system in the leg, and now we've opened it up again. So everything is allowed to flow. We've built up some pressure, and we're helping the lymphatic system work more effectively. So ready? We're pulling this right leg in now, and we're going to go down to the floor with the left. Breathing in and out, slowly and deeply. Well done. Lovely control. Very nice. Slowly down. And again, we're just going to hover. Don't give that leg a rest. And we're still pulling in. So think about closing off everything that's going through the inner groin there on the right leg. And then we're coming back up with the left. Relax your arms. Relax your chest. And your upper back. Slowly bringing that left leg all the way up to the midline. Well done. And then bringing the right leg up to meet the left. So a little opportunity to notice if there's any difference in sensation of temperature or flow between the legs, or maybe nothing at all. A lot of yoga is about tuning into where you are, who you are, what your body's doing. And then we're going to bend both legs. Bring your feet towards you, arms through the center, and grab hold of either your calves or your ankles or the sides of your feet. Or you could also even hold a yoga hold on your big toes if you wish, which is the first 2 fingers of each hand, and then the thumb forms a lock. If you're going to do a yoga hold on your toes, make sure that your toes are active too and pushing back, pushing away. So otherwise it makes it feel like you're pulling your toes off. So anyway, hold on somewhere or other, and then let's come into Happy Baby. Now, Happy Baby is all about playing. It's about intuitively working with your body and listening. So stretching and feeling whether that feels good, whether it doesn't, whether it feels like nothing, then adding on a bit. So you can straighten the legs, you can bend the legs, you can do both at the same time, you can go alternately, up to you. But have a play, move around. So we're opening up the hips, huge, big opening up of the hips. We're also taking the knees into a nice bent, pressurized situation here. So they're having to push back against your hands. And straighten and bend. Involving your core and the lower back. So bringing your feet together now, bring the soles of your feet together with your hands, pressing the soles of your feet together and bringing them in towards your body. So pulling your feet towards your body. And release. Take the feet up towards the ceiling. So a little bit of core work here now. Take your hands and make fists of them and just place them just under your hip bones, under your bum. Straighten out your arms. So that hold there, you shouldn't be able to move your hands without lifting your hips here. They should be wedged firmly under your bum. If making your fist is not comfortable, then just lie on your hands flat. This is going to help you take your feet down towards the floor. So legs are together, toes are together. Bring your feet together, and we're slowly moving down towards the floor. So we've just done one leg at a time, and now we're going with both legs. Draw your belly button towards your spine. Relax your shoulders and your jaw. To start with, your gaze is on your toes. And then when you lose sight of your toes, gently taking your gaze to the ceiling. So pull your core in, nice and slow, lots of control. Taking the legs down towards the ground. And we're going to be coming into Matsyasana. Matsyasana is fish. Nice and slow all the way down. And you might get to the point where your hands are getting squished. You can take them out. It's just really helpful, I find, to help control that slow descent. And release your hands and rock your hips from side to side. A little bit of a release there. Gentle rock from side to side, controlling that movement with your heels, keeping your legs off. And then Matsyasana. So Matsyasana, we're going to start out with our legs straight out in front of us. And in fact, we might stay through the asana with our legs straight out in front of us. So lift your head and look at your toes. Matsyasana, our goal is fish pose. Our goal is to not put too much pressure on the top of the head. So, we had just had our hands underneath our bums. Do the same thing again, but this time put your hands flat. So just wedge your hands underneath your bum. Bring your elbows right in close to your body. Press your elbows into the ground and sit up a little. So use your core, use your arms to lift your head as high as you can. And then take your head back. Take the top of your head towards. Haven't got much space there. Then you can take your elbows a little bit out to the side and lift yourself right up. So you're almost like you're sort of sitting up in bed. Use your elbows to lift yourself up. Everybody got that one? And then staying where you are with your back and your chest, allow your head to drop back all the way. Then lift your sternum up towards the ceiling. So we're going to round in the hips. So curl your lower back, send your belly up towards the ceiling, send your sternum up towards the ceiling, and the back of your head can then gently come down towards the ground. And we should be in fish posture. Matsyasana, so big chest opener. And we're not putting a lot of pressure on the head because we're giving all of that lift in the chest and in the arms. So you can lift your head off quite easily and pop it back. Lifting the chest. And then to come out, lifting up again, rounding through the back, lifting your head, looking towards your toes, releasing your hands and rolling back down to the mat. We're going to come up to sitting. So either take yourself onto your side and start sitting, or come in with a roll, come up with a roll even, coming up into a squat. So bring yourself into a squat, and we're going to make it a bit of a dynamic squat today. So we're going to take the legs a little bit further than hip width apart, and we're rolling over from one side to the other. So just taking your hips over to the right and then over to the left. And hopefully you've got some nice movement happening in the soles of your feet here as well. Pressing down into the toes. Lovely hip articulation. So taking the knee down as you come over to one side. So when I swing over to the left knee comes out to the side. A little bit of a stretch in the side body as well. So one more round. Over to the right and over to the left, all the way around. And then come back to center. So we're going to hold in the squat for 5 breaths. Now everybody's got a different comfortable version of a squat. You might be up on toes, in which case you might be wanting to try and challenge yourself by balancing, or maybe have a couple of fingertips on the floor, or find a piece of furniture, or you might be working towards having your feet flat on the floor, or that might be just very easy and comfortable for you. There's no right or wrong way to come into squat your way, but we are going to breathe 5 breaths here together. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Well done. If you're a tea maker and you've got a kettle in your house, every time you put the kettle on, do a couple of squats. Absolutely brilliant. So good for your future pelvic health. So taking the hands down to the mat, I'm going to straighten the legs, but very slowly, very gently, allowing your head to come forward. We want the head tipping towards the ground, bringing your hips up towards the ceiling, and then walking your hands forward, coming into Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Adjust your feet. You might want to take them a little bit further back. And here we are in downward facing dog, our lovely, lovely downward facing dog. So push the floor away with your hands, and let's get some length in the arms. So long arms and then a long back. So your arms, your hands, your arms, your back, your hips, all in line. And then notice where your feet are. Just see if you need to walk them in or you need to walk them out. Lengthen across your shoulders, so we're nice and wide. If your arms are touching your head, then please take your hands a little further away from each other and make your shoulders a little broader, without losing that nice push against the floor. Lovely lengthening in the backs of the legs, long legs. Your heels moving down towards the mat or on the mat. And let's have a little bit of a lift of the toes. Can you lift your toes off the mat? All the toes, big toe, all the way around to the little toes. And we've been doing our 5 breaths here. I hope they've been nice and deep and slow. If not, here you go. Here's your chance. And then looking forward. So you had a nice hold in down dog, and then looking forward to your hands, bringing yourself up onto your tiptoes as high as you possibly can. And then taking your knees towards the mat. So towards the mat, just bring them down about an inch away and have a little hover. Switch everything on in your core. Shoulders are strong and wide. So we're just hovering here and then come down to the mat. So knees to the mat. Release your feet. So tops of the feet are flat to the floor. Bring your big toes to touch and send yourself back into Balasana. So a nice big stretch back. Forehead comes down to the mat. Arms are relaxed. Shoulders are relaxed. Soften through your back. Relax your legs. Relax your jaw. Bringing your breath back into an easy, soft, gentle, but long and deep inhale and exhale. So as you empty each breath, see if you've got a little bit left in there when you think you're done and you've breathed out completely. See if there's a tiny bit left that you can squeeze out. And the same when you inhale, inhaling fully. We have a lot of compression here in this asana, so you're not going to have as much space in the chest. So just breathing in as much as you can, and then seeing if there's room for a tiny bit more, like a top up. So we've got top up and last squeeze. Don't sound like very yogic terms, do they? And then we're going to be looking forward, so look into your hands. And we're going to be coming into some lovely chest openers here. Great for communication, great for understanding and observing ourselves, to have that clarity, the internal communication as well as external. So we're just here and we're going to push ourselves forward. So lift your hips, sending your chest quite low, keeping the bottom up in the air, and then taking the feet back one at a time. So left leg, right leg, or right leg, left leg, coming into a very low plank. Forearms are to the mat, toes are tucked under, legs are long and strong. Core is fierce here. Be strong in your core. Push the floor away with your hands. Squeeze your glutes. Nice, lovely low plank. Very stable. Very steady. And then taking your knees to the mat. Releasing your feet. And at the same time bringing your hips down to the mat. So we're set up beautifully here for Sphinx. So we are going to Sphinx together, ladies. So hands flat to the floor, forearms flat to the floor. Make sure that your elbows are in line with your chest, not sort of in front of your chest. You want the shoulders to be wide and have as much space as possible. Your hips are on the mat, your belly is on the mat, your chest is lifted. Looking forward, directly forward in front of you. We're going to now pull the elbows back, but there will be very little movement. So start to engage the arms, just starting to drag or feel as if you're dragging your arms back and pulling your chest forward. So send your sternum forward. Really strong posture, so be gentle. Remember to breathe. Mid-back goes back behind you. Chin is lifted. Chest is lifted. Sternum is pulling forward. And release. It's amazing how a posture where it looks like you're doing absolutely nothing can be so exhausting. So stack your forearms one on top of the other and bring your forehead down. So we've made a nice pillow for the forehead. Makara or crocodile pose. Allow your feet to relax. So if you want to drop your heels out to the sides to release any tension in the hips and legs, go ahead and do that. Softening through the sides of your body here. So we came into a bit of a back bend. We're going to come into another back bend and then another back bend before we do our counter pose. So we're doing a lot of moving in the upper chest, in the mid back. What this can do sometimes is release a lot of emotions, can release all sorts of things within the body, mind, spirit. So be kind to yourself today for the rest of the day. Drink lots of water, take time to be quiet and silent, and take time for yourself. Luxuriate in time spent with yourself today. Noticing what comes up and being kind. And here we go, enough resting. Let's look forward. So lifting the head, gazing forward. We're going to come into Shalabhasana first. So we're going to locust. So send the arms out. So stretch your arms away, reach your fingertips away. Make sure you have a little space between your legs, not too much. And we're going to lift the right arm. So pressing the left hand down, lift the right hand off. Taking the right hand back down, pressing it firmly into the floor, your fingertips all spread out from each other. And then we're going to inhale, lift the left arm off. And exhale, take the left arm back down. One more time, inhale, right hand comes off, press the left hand down into the floor. And exhale, bring that hand all the way back down, press it into the floor, left hand comes up on the inhale. How high can you lift that arm? Exhale, taking it back down to the ground. This time, both hands are going to come off at the same time on the inhale. On the exhale, coming slowly back down to the ground. And relax. Lifting the head, inhale. As high as you can, hold and exhale. So a lot of work coming from the back. This, make sure your legs are engaged too. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, coming back down to the ground. This time taking your forehead to the mat, lengthening through the back of your neck and releasing any tension there. We're going to stay here. We're going to lift the legs. So we're going to lift the legs both at the same time. So on an inhale, you can uncurl your head if you like and look forward if you're more comfortable. Taking the legs up. Exhale, taking the legs back down. Inhale, taking the legs up. A lot of work on the lower back here. So give that back support. Exhale, bringing legs back down by engaging your core. Lifting the legs again. Squeezing your glutes and exhale, lower. Last one. Noticing how that switches on muscles in your arms, in your hands. Legs are up and legs are down. And then we're coming into lifting arms and legs, if that's appropriate for you. So lifting up, inhaling and exhaling, everything coming back down slowly with control, forehead on the mat. Uncurling the head, inhaling Looking forward, lifting the legs, lifting the arms, hold and exhale. Forehead down to the mat, uncurl the head again, looking forward, inhaling, coming up, exhaling, coming back down. One last one if you can, inhaling up, exhaling back down. Bring yourself into Makara, opposite arm on top, relaxing out and softening through the back of your neck. Taking 3 deep, slow breaths here. For all the breathing that you do when you're doing a bit of a back bend or a chest opener, it seems to not quite have the same effect. So we take some nice oxygenating breaths here. So we are going to come into Bhujangasana. I know I said we were going to do all 3, one after the other, but I think we do need to do a little counter pose in between. So we're going to tuck the toes under, take the hands either side of the chest, and we're going to lift up. So lift your chest, then your hips, coming all the way up into downward facing dog. Allow your head and neck to be completely at ease here. You can close your eyes and completely rest the head and neck. Arms are long and you're pushing the floor away, sending your sit bones up towards the ceiling. Holding in your downward facing dog. Calming the body, steadying the breath. Just settling the lower back and the mid back. And then we're going to look forward, the hands again, slide forward. This time we're going to be in a high plank, so make sure you've got enough space. Lower your bottom, so your bottom, your back, your legs, everything's in a nice straight line, and you're pushing the floor away. And then knees to the mat. Keeping your bottom up, bending your elbows, bringing your chest and chin to the mat, Ashtanga Namaskar, and then curling forward, or sending your feet back if you've run out of mat like me. Keeping your hands either side of your chest, elbows pointing behind you, feet engaged. So press the tops of your feet into the mat, feel that nice waking up of all the muscles in your calves, in your knees, in your thighs, in your glutes, in your lower back, mid back. And as your back muscles start to engage, lifting your chest off, lifting, sending your chest forward, bringing some weight into your hands, but not a lot. All that work is happening in the back of your body. And then adding on, starting to press into the floor with your hands and bringing yourself up a little, as much as works for you. Keep your chest forward, so sternum reaching forward. Keep your shoulders open, shoulder blades drawing towards each other. Squeezing the tops of your feet into the mat still. Squeezing your glutes and your thighs. That will protect your lower back. From here, we're moving into our perfect counter pose. We're going to come into Balasana, child pose. So bringing yourself slightly forward, lifting your hips, either bringing your knees under or sending yourself all the way back, coming into Balasana. Bring yourself into child pose. Bringing your arms either side of your legs, palms of your hands facing up towards the ceiling. And fold yourself well over your knees and thighs. So lift, give yourself space and lie your torso down over your thighs. Lengthen the neck, softening across your forehead and your jaw. Breathing nice and deep. one thing we haven't really done much of, we've done a lot of forward flexion, we've done a lot of back bend, and we need to do some side body work now. So bringing yourself up, pressing your hands into the floor, bringing yourself up to sitting. Stay here. We're going to stay sitting in hero, or you can come into thunderbolt pose as well if you like. That's taking the feet out either side of you. So some people sitting on your tops of your feet is super uncomfortable, and for others this flexion in the knees is not a good one. So pick which works for you. You're either thunderbolt or hero with your feet under you, or if neither of those work, then you can come into cross-legged pose. So do what works for you. Take your hands down to the mat. So let's go over to the right. So we're going to push into the right hand, into the right palm, flat to the floor, and then lifting that left arm up. So we've got a nice gentle stretch from the fingertips to your left hip. And then we're going to walk that right hand out a little. Give ourselves a little bit more space. And you might want to even be sending that left hip over to the left a little more to give yourself even more of a side body stretch there, and squeezing into the muscles on the right side. Try not to lean forward. If your gaze is forward, lift your gaze, look straight ahead. And if you look up, your arm should be directly above your head. And then we're going to reach up and out to come back to center. Straight over to the other side. So left hand down to the mat now, and then bring that right arm up. Nice big stretch, opening up under the arm, and then walking that, or sliding or walking, depends on how sticky your mat is. And then coming into that nice side stretch. And again, just check. Your gaze should be forward. If you look up, the arm should be above you. Not leaning back, not leaning forwards. It's a perfect side stretch here. And as well, feel free to send your right hip over a little if you want to intensify that stretch. And lifting to come out nice and gently. If you're comfortable, stay here. If you're not comfortable on your feet, change your sitting position. We're coming over to the right again. So you know what to do. We just did this. So same again. See, this time maybe you have a little bit more space. Maybe you have a little bit more bend. Really nice stretch under the arm. Hugely important area for us. Ladies especially, we need that lymphatic drainage there to be working beautifully efficiently. And then first of all, if you come right over, lifting the arm, and coming back up, hand comes to the left side, once more, one last stretch coming over onto the left, so the right gets a nice big stretch. Remembering to breathe nice and slow and deep. Well done, brilliant. Lifting up, coming out. So I think we've done a good amount of side stretching here. We're going to do a little bit more work with the hips. So bringing your feet together. The soles of your feet together in Baddha Konasana, or bound angle pose. This is another one that I highly recommend. So your squats while you're making tea, your Baddha Konasana while you're reading a book, while you're sewing, while you're watching television, whatever it is. Not while driving, and has its challenges while cooking in an English kitchen. So we're going to butterfly the knees a little. So a little bit of movement there. Just reminding those hips, they need good blood flow, they need lots of feeding so they can be strong and grow. not grow any bigger, but grow denser. Nice dense bones. So our own body weight, body resistance is incredibly powerful and useful in helping ward off any kind of bone density loss. So I'm doing a little bit wiggles here. So we're always drawing the feet in towards us, trying to sit up nice and tall and still keep a nice open chest. So we're not caving in or curling around here. We're open and we're long in the back and in the front and the sides of the body. And at the same time, we're also trying to take the knees out to the sides. So you can use your hands to help if you wish, pressing your knees out to the sides. I always want to fold forward when I do that. So let's do that. Let's do a little bit of a fold forward to try and intensify the stretch in the inner thigh. So leaning forward to the exhale and coming back for the inhale. Does that really feel like a good stretch? I hope so. And one more time. Coming back up. Well done. If we don't lose it, we don't use it, we lose it. Get that one completely wrong. There we go. Let's take the legs out. Give them a bit of a shake. Give them a bit of a movement here. And then we are going to come into our Navasana, our boat posture. So we like to switch on the core a little. And again, this is an opportunity to open the chest as well. So lift your chest. Imagine that you are trying to get your chin as far away from your hips as possible, but you have to keep your neck in line with your back. So lift lovely and long. And then we can take toes off, heels off, and find that balance place, balance position. It really helps if you keep your feet glued together. And the knees, ideally, yes, but it sometimes feels a little hard. So allow them to do what works for you. And then we're going to lift the legs. The legs come up a little. Still keep that straight back. There's always a tendency as the legs come up to round through the mid-back. And then if you can and you want to, take your hands off. So we're coming into a nice balance, legs together, chest lifted. So there's the challenge here. Lifting the chest can be a bit of a challenge. So inhale. Now, if you're holding on, carry on holding on. Otherwise, I invite you to open your arms out to the point where you feel comfortable. Remember to breathe, don't hold your breath. Bringing your arms gently back. And hugging your knees in, but not taking your feet to the floor. So grab hold of your knees, bring them in, give them a hug. Drop your chin to your chest and your forehead towards your knees. Lovely final stretch in the back of the neck. Relax your shoulders. And then inhaling to bring the head back up. We're going to come down to lying on the mat. So you can come down via Navasana. So still keeping that nice, that strength posture going and gently bringing yourself down to the mat. Or you can roll down, or you can just lie down, whatever works for you for today. So bringing your back flat to the floor, knees are into your chest. Have a little bit of a rock from side to side, releasing any pressure or tension in the back of the neck, and giving yourself a big hug. Well done. Big hug, squeeze those knees in as tightly as you can, and now take your arms out to the side in a T shape. Take your knees over to the right side. So we're coming into our last spinal twist. Once your knees have come over to the floor on the right, take your gaze over to the left. looking towards the middle finger, the fingernail on the tip of your fingernail, and the middle finger of the left hand. I get there eventually. And settle. Allow everything to soften as you come into that final lovely spinal twist, all the way from the top of your neck to the base of your spine. Shoulders flat to the floor, and then turning your gaze to the ceiling, bringing your knees back to center, and allowing them to just skim across and go all the way over to the other side. So exactly the same on the other side. Your gaze comes over to look at the tip of your fingernail on your middle finger. That's your drishti point here, your gaze point. Allow your knees to settle and soften and relax. It doesn't matter if they move, just let them be where they want. Our focus here is on the spine. And then gently coming back to center. So your gaze comes back first, and then your knees come back. Give yourself another hug. Well done. Nice big squeeze. And relax, let go. Take your legs out. Let's come into Shavasana, into a final resting pose. So find what you need to be comfortable. Have a stretch, lift your right leg off completely, stretch your right heel out, and then pop your leg back down. The same thing on the left, lifting your left leg up, stretching it as long as you can, and then putting it back down on the floor. Same with your right arm, lift, lengthen, and lower. Left arm, lift, lengthen, and lower. Pressing the back of your head into the floor firmly, using the strength in your head and your neck. Lift your chest off, and then let it come back down to the mat. And relax. Rock your hips, so lifting the right hip off and laying it back down, lifting the left hip off, pressing into the heels of your feet, putting that hip back down. Feeling that you have space and length throughout your body. Close your eyes. Now, a quick scan around, just in your imagination, in your mind's eye, taking your attention around to all the different parts of your body, saying a small thank you, noticing any comfort, discomfort, sensation, just observing. Just a completely neutral, passive observation, moving around your whole body, your feet, your hands. And as you go through to each place, a small thank you and permission to relax, an invitation to relax, a request to relax, letting go, softening, being completely at ease, allowing your body to be peaceful and your mind and spirit to be at rest and at peace too. Inhaling deeply, take that breath right down to your pelvis, into the whole of your torso, up your spine, into the sides of your body, into the belly, into the chest, up into your throat. And as you exhale, exhaling with a softness, but fully exhaling and letting go. Inhaling light and peace and warmth and gratitude and contentment. And as you exhale, letting go of all the things you're holding on to that are not bringing you joy. Inhaling, filling up that space you've just made with good stuff, good, sustaining, joyful, enlightening, Wonderful stuff, whatever it is you need more of in your life. And as you exhale, just releasing and letting go, making space. We are only here once. You have been given this perfect body, spirit, mind. You've created this life through billions of tiny little moves and decisions and accidents and luck and fate and happenstance. It's all a miracle. You're a miracle. You're who you're meant to be. You're where you're meant to be. You're doing what you're meant to be doing. Embrace everything fully. Find the joy. Find the gratitude. Find the contentment. It's there. Your beautiful spirit, your soul, whatever you want to call it, it's here for a reason. Keep letting go of the things that don't bring you joy. Keep breathing in deeply. Breathing in peace and calm and contentment and gratitude, and everything else will come. Taking a deep breath in now, right down into your toes, into your fingertips, starting to feel a little bit of the fizz of energy in your feet and your hands, feeling the energy coming up from the floor, feeling the energy coming down from the universe for you, starting to notice being in the space that you're in, the floor, imagining the surroundings, bringing in some movement. And on your next in and out breath, gently bringing yourself to rest on your right side. Just curling onto your right side, feeling settled, feeling that peace, calm, feeling completely together. And then gently keeping your eyes closed, bringing yourself up to sitting. Sitting any way you wish, easy cross-leg pose or any other seated position, bringing your hands to heart center. Taking a deep inhale. As you exhale, rubbing your hands together, rub them quite firmly together and get some sparks and some energy flying, and then cup them over your eyes. On another inhale, gently opening your eyes into that space. On an exhale, floating your hands back down to heart center, to Anjali Mudra, and Namaste. Well done. Thank you for joining me on the mat. Thank you for joining you, mind, body, and spirit on the mat. And I hope you have a fabulous, fabulous day and all good things.